Well, honestly, after another majorly disappointing week, Graham Potter is under increasing pressure. And with that comes a lot of speculation about his job and who will be replacing him. And the latest reports that are coming out suggest that Kieran Mckenna was spotted at the West Ham boardroom meeting with West Ham during the Spurs game. Obviously, if it's during the Spurs game, well, Sullivan was in his seat. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into, the credibility of this report, whether we think McKenna one would be a good replacement if we would sign him, all of that stuff, and what should happen with Graham Potter. It's mate, it's a tough time at West Ham. It really is. It's getting increasingly harder and harder to stomach. It's getting harder for me to do content about West Ham because it's just awful. That Spurs result apparently was the third worst home defeat we've ever had to Spurs in our history. Says it all, doesn't it? Potter looks to really be on the ropes. And according to these reports, so look, we could take this with a grain of salt. Football Insider, Give Me Sport, a few outlets are reporting it. Kieran Mckenna from the Ipswich manager was a surprise visitor in the West Ham boardroom during their defeat to Tottenham. The Ipswich boss, wearing a jacket and jeans, had been invited to London Stadium by the club for the match, which ended in a 3-0 derby defeat. McKenna's appearance at the home of West Ham came after his Ipswich side demolished Sheffield United 5-0 on Friday night. It will fuel speculation that he's in pole position for the job as West Ham manager. Now, Kieran Mckenna, he's a highly rated manager. He's been touted for bigger jobs. He was heavily linked with the Manchester United job before Ruben Amorim took over. In fact, even when they decided to keep Ten Hag in the summer, he was heavily linked with the job. The big sticking point, as people quite rightly point out, he is employed. David Sullivan does not pay managers out of their contracts. He does not. He gets freebie managers. That's David Sullivan. Now, I would like to think that he's learned his lesson, right? I don't believe he has. But you would think that you would learn that all these years of signing the freebie managers hasn't worked out for us. Go and get a manager that's in a job, doing a good job at club, that can build something, and get him at West Ham. Now, Kieran Mckenna plays good football, attacking football, young coach, 39 years old. Yes, he's got Spurs links in the past. But does it matter? Does it really matter? They've got Kudus, who was at West Ham. They don't give a shit. They had Parker, who was at West Ham, and Defoe, and they had Harry Redknapp, who was West Ham manager. They didn't give a shit. Why should we give a shit as long as, you know what I mean? Like, we got the best man for the job. And look, to answer your question, yes, like he's still at Ipswich. So if he was this great manager, maybe someone would have snapped him up. But what jobs have there been there really that's available? Spurs job. Thomas Frank was ahead of him. Thomas Frank has been ready for that move in the step for a long time. Manchester United, they went with Ruben Amorim, who was a highly rated manager in Portugal. He's doing a bad job now, but he'd done a really good job in Portugal. What other clubs really are there that you can sit there and say, well, he could have gone there? So there's not been that many options for a move for him, to be honest, the big move. So yeah, it's what we really need is a manager with some personality. Now, a lot of people are talking about Mourinho. He has some personality, he has some fire. He also plays crap football. So it's a case of what do we do? What do we prioritize? Can we get a manager that plays good football or better football than we've been playing and has some personality about him? Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know where we go. The options are severely limited. Apparently, the club have already ruled out a move for Jose because of his style of play and because of recent form as a manager. So if Mourinho's out of the question, is it going to be a Dyche? Well, if they're ruling out Mourinho for his style of play, then they've got to rule out Dyche. Steve Cooper's gone back to Sheffield United. Thank God for that. Is it Steve Cooper? No, it's Chris Wilder. Sorry. What's Steve Cooper doing? Has he been snapped up yet? Please say he's been snapped up. Chris Wilder's back at Sheffield United. What's Steve Cooper doing? Is he? Please tell me he's in a job. I think he's still unemployed. Damn it. Oh no, he's at Brondby. Steve Cooper's at Brondby, Danish side. Okay, thank God for that. Remember, we was all fuming we never got Amorim. The thing is about Amorim, shout out Sweden. The thing is about Amorim, I think there's clearly a good coach in there, right? The job he done in Sporting, I think he was a manager of Sporting, wasn't he? Job he done there, phenomenal, right? Transform the club. However, he's one of these managers that's so rigid and wedded to a system and can't adapt and change. I think that's why he's not going to work in the Premier League. I think that's his downfall, is his refusal to adapt. He needs the team to adapt to him. He needs rather than him adapting to the players that he's got. So it's going to take a lot of time for Amorim to click. It's going to take multiple windows for Amorim to click. That's the problem with Amorim. Ultra 505. By the way, I highly recommend OK Jersey. I've bought a few things off there. It's very good quality for cheap prices. Yes, listen, don't support the regime. Support us. 8% discount code Nicky. I don't know why it's Nicky. Code Nicky. OK Jerseys. You get your West Ham tops, your England tops, Man United, any club, classics and new stuff, all the latest stuff. But check out, they might have some Luton stuff on OK Jersey. They might have some Luton stuff, mate. So check out for your clubs. You just go on there. You can scan the QR code. It will take you to the thing and just see what they got. Shane says, I think it should be Nuno if Potter goes. Nuno is such an interesting one for me. Nuno. Because he's not known for great football. It's not known for great football. But he's a good coach. He's a little bit more adaptable. He could fit us. He's out of a job. Yeah, I think Nuno could be the one potentially. Out of all the freebie managers, part of me just wants Jose for the chaos and to say we had Jose. But I don't know if he's going to get the best out of the players that we have. That's my problem. Whereas Nuno, he done a phenomenal job at Forest. Obviously, he fell out with Marinakis. Heavily volatile manager. So you're not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'll have a look. Yeah, they have like classic Barca shirts. If you're into just football shirts, obviously all the international stuff, West Ham, all of them things. Do I reckon Hermansen can improve? I reckon he can improve, but what do we do about Hermansen, man? What do we do about this guy? He's 25. Is he going to get much better? He had great games at Leicester, Arsenal, Man United. Great games against those teams, but he's just looking so shaky. And before he come in, I said about his problems in the air. That was his big weakness. And we've got that weakness all over the pitch. We've conceded from 6 set pieces so far this season. 6 set pieces in 4 games. Horrific. Brian says, there is a good manager out there for us. If only we had a director of football that has international connections, that would be good. Very true, Brian. Very true, mate. Very, very true. We don't have this. We don't have the structure. We don't have the setup. And I look at it, right? Let's look at Iraola. The likelihood of us getting Iraola now is slim. But if we had a proper structure and setup, why couldn't we get the next Iraola? How are Bournemouth doing this? How are Bournemouth able to get Iraola and find these managers? No one was talking about Iraola before. Never heard his name mentioned once in connection with any Premier League jobs. Bournemouth go and get him, and now he's looking like a superstar. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm just, so frustrated with it. So frustrated with the structure of the club. Obviously, we've got the protests coming up. We're going to try and get people on to talk about that. But this is it. I've never felt so disconnected from West Ham. I think everyone's feeling like that, mate. Everyone's feeling like that. Honestly, that the game, the press conference after, and everything Potter come out and said, there's nothing that fills me with any hope. Jose trophy cabinet compared to Nuno. He has got the trophy cabinet, but what's he gonna do at West Ham? I just don't know. Like, I didn't want to be here already. I did not want to be here talking about managers this soon. I was so exhausted after Lopetegui, right? We got Lopetegui. It didn't last. It ended quickly, and then we was talking about managers. We got Potter, and already 9 months later, we're talking about a new manager. It's horrible. It is horrible and tiresome. Would I take Amorim? No. I would have took him, obviously, but looking at how his refusal to adapt and change, hell no. We need someone that can adapt and change. Ultra says should go for the Stuttgart manager, Sebastian Hoeneß. Yeah, we've been linked with him before. I'd say but this is the problem. If Sullivan keeps going for the 3B manager, we're never gonna find these next Iraolas and Thomas Franks and all these managers. We're never gonna unearth them. The manager for us, the long-term manager that can build. We're always going to be just trying to get who's available, and who's available isn't necessarily going to be who's going to fit us. And that's the problem. Like, in terms of profile, Graham Potter was the highest profile manager who was available. And that's why we got him, even though he's not really a West Ham manager, is he? He's not a West Ham manager. Just like Avram Grant wasn't a West Ham manager. You've got to have something about you to manage this club. You really do. And he doesn't. He has no personality. Rob says, if Mckenna rumours are true, I hope Ipswich sue the defence of Sullivan for tampering. He did this tactic with Potter when Loppy was in charge, and it was bad taste. It is bad taste be meeting new managers. Not that I can feel sorry for Potter, because if he's meeting Steidton while Lopetegui's in charge, then it's not going to go down well. We lost out on Martin O'Neill because Martin O'Neill, they wanted Martin O'Neill in, but because we was trying to do this deal with him whilst Avram Grant was still in a job, he didn't like it. He said it was in bad taste and said no. So Brett has an interesting question. Do you not think the players need to stand up and be counted? They are pros and should be able to adapt in game, not just all in the manager. Yeah, I think you're right, Brett. I was, we've interviewed a few players, and a few of them have said, even Diggs, quite a few players we said, even Rice, apparently, there was talks of him like saying, forget what the manager said. Let's do our thing. Like, a lot of players do that. They'll just go, right, whatever he said, forget about it. Let's do this. And they'll go out and do it. And if it works, the manager can't complain. So, yeah, of course, they've got to stand up and be counted. But the problem is, Brett, is Potter's not putting the best players on the pitch. he's playing the same slow midfielders, and we're getting the same results. So it's not even like I can look and say, do you know what? The players just can't be asked. They're not putting the effort in. The players that he's playing just don't have the ability to do what's needed. And then I look at the defense, mate. Again, we've got players that can't fucking jump. How can you have a defense that can't jump? And a goalkeeper that can't jump. It's a recipe for disaster. We absolutely have to make a change before Arsenal. We will get destroyed. It's funny, we bought an Igor as well, who's shit in the air. Why did we buy another centre-back that's shit in the air when we've got flipping Todibo and Kilman who are shit in the air? That's crazy. That's crazy. Amanda Staveley. There's been links with Amanda Staveley and West Ham. Listen, please bring Amanda Staveley to West Ham. Let her show Karen Brady what a serious businesswoman is. And hopefully she could end up getting us that takeover that we so desperately need. You know, there's talks of Millwall getting a takeover from Turk. What's his name? Is it Turk Minister? Millwall. Is he the Qatari guy? Turk Al Sheikh, Saudi investors, right? So I've been in talks and found out, there was interest from Turkey Al Sheikh to buy West Ham, but the price was just too much, 800 million, and Millwall are going for less than 10% of that. So Millwall, our bitter rivals, could get a Saudi takeover before West Ham. And God help us if they overtake us. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that, mate? That, honestly, if Millwall, we're in the Championship and Millwall in the Prem, mate. Crazy. But this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how much money they've got. You look at it for value for money, right? West Ham, big fan base, granted, right? Big fan base. Holding on for dear life in the Premier League. Don't own their stadium. £800 million. Millwall, decent fan base, not as big as West Ham, but decent size fan base, also in London, own their own stadium, £50 million. Fuck it. We can build it up and get the fan base. We can invest. We can get the infrastructure there. And that's the problem. Is crazy. It's absolutely crazy that we're in a situation where Sullivan is pricing us out of any ownership. The Den over London Stadium, I can't even argue with that. It kills me, but I can't argue. Even when they got their stadium, they had the new Den. And they're all happy with the new Den. Obviously, I know people's probably not unhappy to leave the old Den, but they got the new Den. Where's our new bowling? We didn't get a new bowling, did we? We got a fucking soulless bowl, mate. And it's tiresome. It's absolutely tiresome. Oh, Arsenal can fucking kiss my ass. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, Staveley went to Saudi and got a deal straight away while Brady went there and came back empty-handed. Yeah, Brady did. Brady did go and try and get Saudi investment. You know what the difference is? They want investment, right? They just want people's money without giving them control. If you're a Saudi fucking billionaire, right, who don't give a shit about making money, these Saudis buy clubs as status symbols. Look at what I've done. I've built this football club up to be champions, to win things, right? That's what it is. And you're going to say, can we have some investment, please? But you don't get a say over the club. But you'll get some returns on you if it makes more money. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Go back to where you came from, Brady. That's what they'll say. So that's why, absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. I'm tired of the revolving door of managers, but Potter is awful. I just don't think he fits us. He needs to. I said this on PMP. He needs to go into, or it might be in football's 12th man. He needs to go into a club that is stable, right? The club's stable, it's mid-table, got decent players, and I think that's what he needs. He's coming into a club in crisis. He's not the man to get you out of a crisis. Michael Carrick to steady the ship until the end of the season, maybe not a bad idea to me. Problem is with that, mate, is he's not going to leave. One, we're not going to pay him out of his contract because Sullivan don't do that. But two, he's not going to leave Middlesbrough to come to a club just until the end of the season. I'd go League Two to get Upton Park back. You know what, mate? So would I. So would I. I would go League Two to get Upton Park back. Really, I've been missing it more and more lately. I really have been really on my mind, Upton Park. Really miss it. Really do. Carrick is unemployed. Since when? When did he get? When did? No, you're joking, Philip. I will be posting. Me and Jace went swimming today for the weight loss. By the way, the week 1 weight loss results are available for the members. So if you do go onto the membership, you can see our week 1 weight loss results. But that's swimming, so I will be sending you a Dick shirt off tomorrow Express or whatever it is. Michael Carrick unemployed. I really thought he was still at Borough. That's mad. What did they do? Sack him? Okay, that's not a bad shout then. That's not a bad shout. Vinny, another good shout. If anyone has to come in to steady ship, I'd rather be Bilic. Yep, get Slav in. Get me Slav. Slav with this team, I think could do good things. I think could be decent. Dream manager realistic. Is Iraola realistic? Tell me. I don't know. Is he realistic? I don't know. If he's realistic, he'd be my dream manager. Do you know what? Do you know what we need to do though, right? Because Ruben Amorim is on the brink, right? He's on the absolute brink of getting sacked. Really close. So we need to pull the trigger before they do. Otherwise, we're competing with them for managers, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, I want to manage Man United," even though we're an absolute fucking mess. Although we are a mess as well, to be fair. Yeah. Why would Slav be decent with this team? I just think we've got players that suit the way he likes to play. And I think he would play the players that we want to see. Personally. I take a defensive manager just to keep. This is the problem, though, right? We're in game week 4, and we're talking about firefighter managers, defensive firefighters to keep us up. Already, that's basically writing off the season. And the problem is, though, right? Say you get a Dyche in, and Dyche does a decent job, right? He keeps us up. Not only does he keep us up, he gets us 10th or 9th. There's always going to be that temptation from Sullivan to go, right, we'll give him a 2-year deal. Mate, we're just a shambles. We're an absolute mess. Kaz is spot on. We need a manager that can be adaptable. 100%. Bit of fire, bit of intensity, adaptable. Give me that all day long, mate. Give me that all day. Can't get away from the low block. Yeah, it's honestly, like we've been talking since Big Sam, right? We used to say, right, he's played shit football, West Ham way. We want attacking football, West Ham way. And we always come back to this. We go away from it and it pulls us straight back. Unknown European manager. But this is what I'm saying. We need to have a proper, we haven't got anyone in place of any know-how to go and find the manager that can suit us. Like, I look at someone like, Iraola. Look at this. Look at the teams he'd managed before Bournemouth, right? AEK Larnaca, Mirandes, right? Which is are they a lower league? I think they're a lower league Spanish team, second division, and Rayo Vallecano. That's who he was managing before he went to Bournemouth, right? He managed them, and then he ended up at Bournemouth, right? So Rayo Vallecano. He left at the end of the campaign, having turned down. So he was out of contract, right? Leeds approached him apparently, but he didn't get. He could have been a Leeds manager, but he wasn't given permission to leave, and he left at the end of the campaign on a free transfer, and then Bournemouth snapped him up. And his first match was a home draw with West Ham. There we go. Surprise, surprise. I still think Potter comes good. Have faith. Like, okay, let's have some arguments for keeping Potter, right? We've all said about who we'll get. Are there any arguments or justification for keeping Graham Potter as West Ham manager? I so want him to work out. I can't even say right now on Potter out, but I'm telling you now, if we don't beat Palace, he's got to go, mate. Especially if we lose as well. Especially if we lose. I can't. My thing is with Potter, right? I'm hoping, right? Let's give him some benefits of the doubts. Benefits of the doubt. The James Ward-Prowse Souček midfield. Obviously, he can't play Souček regardless, right? But let's just say he's waiting for Mckenna to get up to speed. Let's just say he's waiting for Wilson to get up to speed. Shout out, Daz. Let's say he's waiting for those players to get up to speed. And this isn't the team we saw against Spurs isn't going to be the team he wants to play week in, week out. He's just waiting for fitness and all that. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? That's it. There's some good players there. We've seen good performances under this man. Emirates away. Where is that? Where is that? That's what I don't get. Like, he got the team fucking working, pressing, transitioning well from attack to defense. Now it's just a mess. Palace play with intensity. We can't handle it. A few people saying we ain't beating Palace. Yep. So, you know what we did? This is it. He's too soft. Like, there's nothing about Potter that tells me he's going to get a personality change, right? And that's the issue. There was a picture going around of Thomas Frank, right? And Thomas Frank is sitting there, right, when it's 0-0. He's got his little notebook, and he's looking down like this, and he's writing notes. Or just before halftime, writing down his notes. Right, we're going to change this, going to do this, right? Proactive. And Potter, what does he give you? That's it. That's the difference. The difference of a manager that is just fucking on the ball. You look at that, right? Imagine you're a player and a fan. You look at a manager who's sitting there, furiously taking notes, right? Looking, you go, he's on it. He's connected. He's in this with us. So whatever's happening now, he's going to try and find a way to fix it. He's seeing the game and seeing what we need to do. Brilliant. Like, he's on the ball. Versus you look at Potter staring blankly. Like that. How does that fill you with confidence? How? It doesn't. Potter reminds me of a supply teacher. Yeah, like he knows, like, he's coming to an established class. He's got no authority. He's just trying to survive the day. Just get me through this class. Here we go. Here's Josiah with some stats. West Ham's lowest number of home wins in a calendar year is 3, achieved in the 88-89 season. It might have been the season we went down. And now in 2025, 2 home wins in a calendar year. So I mean, look, that could if we keep Potter right, if things don't change, that record could be equaled, if not broken. So we've got 2 home wins all year. We've got Palace at home next, right? Brentford at home, Newcastle at home, Burnley at home, Liverpool at home, Villa at home, Fulham at home, Brighton at home, right? That's the rest of our home games for the year. It's not inconceivable that we could equal that. Trust in Potter. Lawless says, hey, I've been giving Potter like so much backing, but he's making it very hard. He's making it very, very hard. Shout out Gurav. Red card, nothing. JWT swapped at full time. What the fuck is this crap? That was my reaction, mate, during the game. What the fuck was in this crap? Potter does give me relegation vibes. He gives me relegation vibes. I'm sorry. But he feels like a manager that's lost that we will go down with. Like, he hasn't got an idea. He doesn't know what to do when we concede. That's just how it feels. And anyone got any stats on how many times we've come back from going a goal down in the past year or, in this 2025? Not many. Heads drop. That's the problem. Yeah, you're right, Jeff. We do need a manager that gets it with some connection, and Spillage gets it. We're not getting Diego Simeone. Leave it out, mate. We're not getting Diego Simeone. Oh, it's Craig Bellamy, Michael Carrick, Scott Parker would do well and would come to us. We won't get Scott Parker because he's in a job. Craig Bellamy, Michael Carrick. Do you know what I like? I like Craig Bellamy. Like, as a player, like, he loves the club. He's got something about him. Like, as a caretaker manager, maybe a bit of Craig Bellamy has the passion. Yeah, maybe like Carrick's got the experience. I wouldn't mind. Maybe Craig Bellamy as like, he's the Wales manager. Yeah, he's not leaving Wales to come manage West Ham. We need the special one. The special one may not be special anymore. That's my worry. That is my worry. The special one might not be special anymore as much as I want him. It's Kev Nolan. He hasn't got high level experience. We should have kept a Nolan at the club. I don't know why we let him go. That's the problem. Just clear out the old guard and replace them with new people. Joe is pottering. Tell me why you're pottering, Joe, if you're really pottering, or you're not just having a piss take. Tell us why you're pottering. Bellamy was a complete crybaby after we beat Wales last week. That's what we need. We need a crow. We need someone who's going to bitch and moan when we lose and not just the lads gave everything. Disappointing loss, of course. But thought we played well in spells. And we have to do better. We know that. And next week, new game. And we're going to give everything. That's Potter. That's what Potter gives you after his post-match interviews. And you're just like, get that. Just shut up, man. I can't bother to list it. We take the positives. Yeah, exactly. Like, God's sake. David Moyes could be our Chris Wilder. No, he ain't coming back. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm polishing. I'm polishing up now. That's my first ever. That's how many times I've seen him say the same thing, by the way. Yeah, there's always positives. Of course, we take the positives. Didn't know. Oh, come on. Didn't know Paul was Jamaican. Every accent I do is Jamaican. Oh, Potter reminds me of Southgate. Yeah, like, can you imagine? Can you believe Jace wants Southgate? I'm praying Southgate goes to Man United. I'm praying Southgate goes Man United. Jody Hammer says, we was all Potter in after our last game. What's the point in bringing a new manager and taking heat away from our board after a few wins with a manager bounce? Hmm. Here's the thing, Joe, right? You're right in a way. Bringing a new manager and he comes in and gets a bounce, that would inevitably take heat off the board, which we don't want. But at the same time, we don't want to see us go on the path that we're going on under Potter. You know, that's the problem. You know, we don't want to like stick with Potter and fucking lose every week. So we're in an awkward situation. Mate, if we win 3 games in a row, the process would be about 10 people. Yeah, I get the point you're making, but that's a big if. That's a big if, mate. That's a huge if. Are you going to the protest Saturday, Dan? Yep. Hopefully I can get there. I will be there. And then I'll come back for the watch along. And there wasn't. Oh, yeah. Brendan Rodgers. You know what? Brendan Rodgers is a shout, but he's obviously in a job. But I would take him because short term he's good. But he's right. They showed great character. The boys, they showed tremendous character. Tremendous character. That's him. That's his boys gave everything what he does. But yeah, do you know what? Brendan Rodgers on the short term, he like 2 years, mate, of Brendan Rodgers could be the little spark that we need. He's not like the fiery manager. Maybe he's not going to fit like Potter, but he does well in short terms, doesn't he? What protest? West Ham are having a protest 12:30 p.m. at West Ham Station on the bus side. So if you want to go to that process, and they're going to do a march to the stadium from there. You can just go straight to the stadium and join the protest there, but you can also meet up at the bus station and be part of that. So I do encourage everyone, if you can, to get down to the protest because we have to show our numbers. We have to show our serious. If we go up and there's hardly anyone, like, mate, we just get laughed at. It'll be embarrassing. We cannot let that happen, right? We cannot let the protest look like that. Before it was entrance B, I literally just saw a post about it. I just saw a post saying that it's Stratford Station where the bus garage is. Yeah. So that's what I've seen. So have a look, but I'm going to try and get Nick Tucker on. I think there's like a first one. I think it's all going to be at the stadium, right? But there's a walk to the stadium, and I think it's the Crossed Hammers. Nick Tucker, our mate. I'm going to try and get him on this week if I can, and talk to him properly about it. But there's a march to the stadium, right? So you can be part of that, and I think we'll go to entrance B. So yeah, I encourage everyone to do that. Roberto De Zerbi. The problem with De Zerbi, he plays this 5 at I don't want to see a back 5. And I know system shouldn't matter, it doesn't matter how you play, but I just don't want to see it. I don't want us to play that. I'd rather just stick to a back 4, mate. It's never been a formation, a system that I've really liked. You know, and I called for it when we was playing earlier on. We played better with a back 5 than a back 4, but I don't want these managers like that. These system managers. I'm a system manager. This is my system. No system managers, please, for West Ham United. I want football managers. That's what I want. Not enough people care for the protests to matter anymore, Dan. They've driven out the hardcore. Well, hopefully, like I said, I've left, a few people left. I'm hoping that the hardcore fans who've left still turn up to support it because, again, whether you think it's going to do anything, whether you care, this is the reputation of West Ham fans. If this protest is a failure, then we look like a laughing stock. Remember that Spurs protest when about fucking 10 people showed up and we all fucking laughed at them and took the piss? Yeah, honestly. Jesse Marsh, I'll leave it out. Yeah. Paul McKenna. Yeah, look at my eyes. Yeah, we get him to hypnotize fucking David Sullivan. So yeah, the main one is entrance B Pudding Mill Lane to the director's entrance at 12:45. Yeah, so I think that so there's like two different things, but it's all merging into one protest, right? It's all merging into one protest. So wherever you want to go, it's going to end up at the same place, entrance B. So if you want to go straight there, you can. If you want to do the cross dammers walk, you can. We won't go after Parker because he's in a job. He's in a job. That's the problem with Parker. He's in a job. But he's got a bit about him, though, and he's got a bit of passion. I just don't know anymore. Like, I'm so burned on managers, man. I don't know. Like, I can't have confidence in anyone anymore and say he's the guy. Like Iraola, for me, is the guy. I don't think there's any chance of that happening. Like, he's the one manager, if I could say who, him. But would he leave them? And two, would we pay him out of his contract? Can you do the Sean Dyche accent? I don't know. When I'm on the spot, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. West Ham. It's off. But yeah, they asked me to be West Ham manager, and I said, "Well, I'll be West Ham manager if you give me some free dildos. I want some free." I can't. My voice ain't on it today. What do I think about 10? Come on, ladies and gentlemen, come on. Let's get some serious names, please. Let's get some serious names. You know, that's what I'm hoping. Serious names. We need that. We need some proper names. Come on, Ten Hag, mate. Come on, man. Dan, do you think they'll do ticket checks on Saturday to try and stop Ticklers fans going to the protest? I hope not. That's an interesting point, Kent Hammers, because obviously you get to the bag checks and then they check you going in. I don't know how it's going to work. This is why I want to get Nick Tucker on to find the ins and outs of that, because what does happen? You know? So this is it. We're just listen, with names. I just don't know anymore. We can talk about names so the cow. We can throw every manager name out that you can think of. Name all the managers that you can think of. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Potter's still in the job. We're run like a circus. And nothing's going to change anytime soon. There's already reports. That the board are deciding whether they should back Graham Potter in January. So this is what happens at West Ham. We have a manager. Manager starts doing shit. Instead of sacking him, they stick by the manager, but use that as an excuse not to spend. Oh, well, we're not doing well, so we can't give him any money because we're not doing well. When maybe if you give him the fucking money, we'd do better. Maybe, just maybe, if you give him the money to improve the team, and if it still won't work out, you sack him. Operate like a serious football club. Stop penny pinching all the flipping time. Oh, we don't want to sack managers because that costs money. We don't want to buy a manager out of his contract because that might cost money. We don't want to play the manager and give him some transfers because the team's doing shit. When obviously they need transfers. They just don't want to spend the money. Chat GPT says Eden Terzic on Nuno. Just go Nuno, man. Let's just go fucking Nuno and be done with it. Just go Nuno. I do worry a little bit about his football, but I think he's a little bit more adaptable. Maybe he can play some good counter-attacking football. How is a circus run? Well, a circus is run in order to entertain in a comedic way. You know, you have the clown show, right? And you have the clowns and their trousers fall down, you know, and then they get the little fucking flower and they squirt the water out and they all run and get in the clown car and the clown car breaks down and it's all funny and all the kids start laughing at it. That's West Ham. West Ham are a laughing stock. We're a circus. Because a circus, you go to a circus to laugh at the clowns, right? West Ham are the clowns. That's how we're like a circus. So it's nothing's going to change, right? So yeah, Mourinho just for the bants, whatever. Just I've offended. I had someone get really angry when I said we're not run like a circus, we run worse than circus. Like, how dare you? Circuses are actually really well run businesses. They make a lot of money and do really good. And it's like, oh fucking all right, it's the fucking circus owner here. Zippo is fucking in my chat having a pop. It's like, mate, it's just a fucking saying. It's just a phrase. Jesus. It's Mark Noble said he ain't a circus. I think he was very presumptuous in that saying. He was very presumptuous. It was all giddy because, you know, last season Upton Park, look how good it is. And literally, he said that before we moved into the circus tent that is the London Stadium. That's the fucking circus tent. Zippo's Circus, the London Stadium. You only had to look at that shithole to see, wow, maybe we are a circus. Hi, Lawless. Leicester fan. Give Mad time. He wasn't great at the start for us, but he's a top keeper for us. Just my view. I appreciate your view, Wayne. I just think, do you think that's a thing? Then he has to adapt to each team. Look, the defense in front of him are a bit shaky, but I just need him to see him. Maybe he just needs to ease in. But this is why you don't throw the geezer straight in. It's a joke, mate. It's an absolute joke. Nuno won't want to come to West Ham. Think about it. He fell out with Forest owner. He'll absolutely hate Sullivan. I don't know. Like, the thing is with Sullivan, right? And this ain't me sticking up for him, but if we're comparing him to Marinakis is a big alpha male type guy. What the some of these comments. He's a big alpha male type guy. He throws his weight around. He says it how it is, right? You know, whereas Sullivan's a sort of frail old man. And yeah, he interferes, but he ain't. It's not the same sort of manager that will personality will clash. I think they're different. He's a nutter who wants to be seen. That's another way to put it. Mr. Marinakis, that's not my words. Don't come for me. You know, it's shout out, John. Yeah, it's a bit of something. But how many? What? How many waves of little Davids? What does that mean? How many waves do you say? Oh, how many Oh, okay, yeah. How many waves of little David Sullivan do you think you can take on if they come in waves of 10? Do you know what? With my rage, I could take on, like, if I beat up 10 David Sullivans and another 10 come up and I beat up another 10 little David Sullivans. In my current physical condition, right? I'm still trying to get fit again. Probably 5 waves, 6 waves of David Sullivan. I've really got sucked into that question. You know, Leicester fans were saying he's no good at long range or catching. Yeah, he can't have that. You can't have that. 1,000 David Sullivans or one silverback gorilla. 1,000 David Sullivans. Easy, mate. Easy all day long, mate. So yeah, like honestly, I just look at it. It's going to be a long week building. I just want to get to the Palace game, mate. I just want to get to it. And we got all this build up. I usually feel good when I feel hopeless and we win a game. You know, I feel positive going into a game that I don't feel positive about, if that makes sense. I feel more at peace, like I'm expecting us to fucking get battered. So what's the worst that can happen? They can't. But then it happens and I get pissed off after the fact anyway. So nonsense. My daughter works for Ipswich Town and this story is absolute rubbish. Well, Nick, what position does your daughter hold at Ipswich Town to where she would know if he was at West Ham, if he was at the London Stadium? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying he definitely was. But I'm saying if we're going to say my daughter works for Ipswich and that's how I know it's rubbish, if she's, works in the office or the ticket office or what have you, then, she's not going to know, is she? Yeah, that's the thing. And here's one for you. If you could have one past West Ham manager and one past West Ham player for the current moment, who are you picking? Prime John Lyle, because I would love to see John Lyle at West Ham, or Ron Greenwood, because obviously he brought in the West Ham way. But let's say John Lyle, and one past West Ham player for this current moment, who could really. We need Billy Bonds. We need a Billy Bonds. That's what we're missing. That leadership, that fight, that fire. John Lyle. I know I've gone old school, but John Lyle and Billy Bonds, mate. Yeah. Yeah, Kaz is exactly where I'm at. Lyle Bonds. Exactly where I'm at. Tevez, yeah, Tevez took a while to get going though. But you look at our defense, right, and you look how weak we are. Someone like Billy Bonds bashing people up, like, I know with today's fucking refs and shit like that. It's all back to a joke. Bring back Slav. I'm not against it. Yeah, with today's football, I don't know how Billy Bonds would get on with like the refs and shit. Bobby Moore shore up the defense. Yeah, and a leader, proper leader. Lawless, you won't want to see Nuno. He did well at first. I'm not against Nuno. There's a couple of doubts in terms of style of football, but I think he's the best. If we're going for 3B managers, right, which he probably will, Nuno Espirito Santo is the best 3B manager. Repka. I loved Repka. He's the best 3B manager. Avram Grant and Tel Benaim. Are you trying to just completely just relegate us down to non-league, Philip? Yeah, Nuno, out of all the three, but let's just say that right now. Every manager that's at work, Nuno, Premier League experience. Oh, I need to sort out this thumbnail. I just realised Mckenna looks like he's floating. Premier League experience. Done a really good job at Wolves. Done a really good job at Forest. Let's do it. Come on. Just get Nuno in. Just get Nuno. Let's do it. It's got to be the best option we could probably get. Give us Nuno Espirito Santos. He's got to be better than Potter. He has to be better than Graham Potter. Jose over Nuno. I think Jose would be more fun, more banter. But yeah, he's not. Who? If you don't think, if anyone disagrees, like I'm saying to all of you, I think Nuno is the best freebie manager we can get. Let me know who you think. A few of you are saying Jose. Yeah, God. It's Jose just doubts over him in modern football. That's the doubt for me. I'm not against him. Shout out Chico. Always good to have you. Dan, it's more terrorist football long term. Agrees better than Potter, but it's not that hard to be better than PE teacher. I get it. It's yeah. The football can be tough. I don't think he's all bad football. Do a poll. I'll do a poll. Yeah, but then I've got I'll do a poll, right? Let's do a poll. Let's see. Do a battle poll. Right, let me go on here and do a poll. And let's see. Oh, let's see what people are saying, right? If I can do a poll. Please tell me I can do something as simple as a poll. Because I'm really interested. It seems like a lot of love for Jose. Although Stephen says he's completely out of touch. Yeah, like look at it, right? In terms of style of football, Jose and Nuno aren't too different. Where is it? Where's the link? So I can do a poll. Jose and Nuno aren't too different in terms of style of play, right? We're agreed. But I think in terms of what's this? Goal? Is this engage with your audience? Start a poll. Who do you want to replace Potter? Now we're gonna go Nuno. Any other options, like serious options, not flipping Ten Hags and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's? Any other names that I should add to this poll? Or are we doing just Jose and Nuno? Maybe Carrick. Is Carrick yeah, Bellamy's at Wales, so we're not gonna get him. Marco Bielsa. Is he too? Oh, do you know what? I really wanted Bielsa before. Mckenna, you might as well, because McKenna's obviously. I'm going to put McKenna in because his name was obviously linked to us. In the title was about McKenna and Carrick. Yeah, I think those four, right? Xavi is available. I can't see us getting Xavi, to be honest. Right, Nuno. I don't know if I haven't spelled these names right. Right, who do you want to replace? Start a poll. The poll is up. I can't vote for my own poll, obviously. Why I vote Roy Keane? Leave it out. Yeah, we linked with Bielsa. Oh, mate, I do rate Bielsa. So let's see what people are saying in terms of the poll. Jose winning it so far. A lot of love for Jose. I'm sure Chelsea were quoted about 20 million to get him out of Ipswich, so that will never happen. Do you think, though, now, was that wasn't when they were still in the Prem, though, then, weren't they? They got relegated last season. So maybe now it would be cheaper. I don't know, but still, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. Oh, it's getting up there. Nuno's catching up. So El Chico, actually, right? As you're saying, like terrace football, who are you saying? Yeah, he knows his shit. So who would you like to see? Season they came up, he has a release clause. Maybe there's an offer now. They're in the championship that could tempt him, but we're not going to do it because of Sullivan. Yeah, Nuno's catching up. McKenna's far back on this poll. I voted for Carrick, but meant Diego. Diego who? Wait, which Diego? Diego McKenna. Jose has won everything. He has won everything in the past, but let's think about the future. Why? I agree with you, Deadfall. I agree with you, but we're trying to be realistic. We're trying to be realistic. Good job, Jace is not here because we know who he wants. Yeah, I didn't want to put Southgate on the list. I did not want to put Southgate on the list at all. Yep, the poll is going up. Oh, it's tight between Nuno and Jose. It is tight. Dan gets the casting vote if there's a tie. Okay. It is really close between Nuno and Jose. The other two are just like, yeah, fuck, no one's interested in those two. It's Simeone. Well, he's not on the list. We're not getting Simeone pin the show. You mentioned him earlier. We're not getting Simeone. I'm sure. In all honesty, I hope the PE teacher can change because Nuno and Mourinho are both terrorists, like play crap football. But I don't see the PE teacher changing. So out of them, I would say Nuno, but that's reluctantly. Is there not anyone else you think that we could get? Do you think we should go for? Or you just see it's done? It's going to be one of them. Seniors. If Nuno calls out the Forest owner, what is he going to say about Sullivan being his fourth Prem team? Jose has a 70% win ratio, but Nuno has 47. Okay, so let's look at that's misleading, Ben, right? That win ratio thing. Nuno has managed Wolves in the Prem, Spurs, Forest. Yeah. If you're doing Prem ones, whereas Jose managed Chelsea, Man United, and Spurs. He's never managed a team in the Prem that's our level. He does need someone in the back. Get Kevin Nolan in his backroom stuff. Get someone. Like, if you're not going to be the guy with the bollocks and the fire, then find someone who will. Maybe take a cheeky bid to get Will Still. Will Still. Well, there's a name I've not heard in a long time. I don't know, but do you know Will Still? He could be the guy. Like, he learned off Football Manager. He done great in France. But Will Still, what do we do about Will Still? Is he going to be the guy? Is he going to be the fire that we need? Is he going to have that grit? I don't know about Will Still. Yeah, Nolan is the Northampton manager. If they wanted to, they could get him out of that in a heartbeat. I think he'd love to come back. He didn't want to leave. Yeah, you're right. He should never have been let go. He should have stayed. I think when you're doing backroom staff, you need a consistent manager, right? A consistent coach that stays. Sack a manager, everyone goes except this one guy, right? And then he stays and he stays every time. That's what we need. Yeah, Glasner, man. How did we let them get Glasner? We should have got Glasner. The fact that he's there and we've got, mate, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's Glasners out there. There's Iraolas. Like, how can Palace and Bournemouth and Brentford get, I'm talking about when they had Frank, get these top draw managers, these really, really class managers? How can they get these managers and we struggle? Big thing is, again, we like the freebies. It's Sullivan. Them 3 clubs can go and get these managers. And we can't. Newcastle, Eddie Howe was there. A lot of clubs could have got Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's name was linked with jobs for ages. Newcastle finally went, we want him. Eddie Howe. It's crazy. Yep, he keeps losing his best players year on year, and he still does it. There's managers out there if a club has a fucking clue. But we don't. So we're looking at the same Jose Nuno, Mckenna, Carey. There should be names we don't even know about. Everyone go, wow, how the fuck did West Ham find him? Wow, what a manager. We don't do our homework. We don't do our homework. It looks like this poll is winding down. It does. Oh, see, I'm going to end the poll in about a minute. I'll end the poll in 1 minute. 1 minute left for the poll. So get your votes in who you want to be, who you want to see. Don't forget to check out OK Jerseys. You can scan the QR code Nikki for 8% off. Don't put your money into these bastards. Give it to OK Jerseys if you want to buy some shirts. Loads of shirts, new shit, old shit. West Ham, England, anyone you want, right? All the top clubs. No ambition. That's what we've got. We've got no ambition. We have no director of football. Everyone's right. It's crazy. Elchie says, no, it needs a big up you. You're doing God's work. Keep piling the pressure on Talksport and overlap. And there's no way messing about. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, we got to keep dragging their name in the mud. And like I said, people that go, what's the point? What's the point? It's not gonna sell. He's not gonna. He's not. He's definitely not. He's definitely not gonna sell if you don't protest. If you don't call him out in the media, he 100%. He's definitely not gonna sell then, right? So if you go and do this, right, all of these protests and call him out, well, what's the worst that can happen? He don't sell. So it's not like it's going to make him less likely to sell. So why not do it? Why be silent? You know, and that's the thing. I don't know about famous. Can you pin the website for shirts? Let's have a look. Let me end this poll soon. So we can get a definitive on who everyone wants. Like I said, so use that code. And like I said, good prices. Use the code Nikki. Look at that, Nikki. What a big head Nikki is, eh? No, like the geezer set it up and Nikki wanted it as West Ham Fan TV as the code, so I'm not going to do that to Nikki because he gets enough stick sometimes. There's the website. Go and have a look at some beautiful shirts. Just know, I think some of them you may have to size up, right? You can size up some of them, especially the newest, I think come up a little bit tight. So just bear in mind, you know, if you're a medium, maybe get a large or something like that. So right, let's end this poll then. Oh, fucking hell. Well, the winner is Jose Mourinho on the poll. Wow, it was close between Nuno and Jose, and Jose ended up 142 people voted, and Jose won. Nuno second, Mckenna third, Carrick fourth. God. Frank Glasner, Iraola were all cheap when they got them, yet we want all these overpaid sack merchants. Do you know why we want all these overpaid sack merchants, mate? Is because we know they haven't got anything in them to go and get the managers. They haven't got what it takes to go and get the next Frank, the next Glasner, the next Iraola. That's the problem. That's why we talk about these managers, because they're the managers they're most likely to go and bloody get. That's the big problem. Therefore, I refuse to vote in that terrible poll. Yeah, we want exactly Salthouse. Salthouse. Who Salthouse wants us to get? That's what it's all about. There was a manager that changed and became. He changed clients. I think it was Gary O'Neill is now a Salthouse client. That was it. Gary O'Neill, I was told, has become a Salthouse client. So don't be surprised to see Gary O'Neill at West Ham back, returning. It's going to be a long season. Shout out Randy. Shout out Rick. Yeah, the list of names is going to be very uninspiring, and we're just back here again. And this is why we should not let them get away with it. We should not let them sit there and hide behind Potter. Potter, like I said, we can do the Potter out thing, right? But Potter out doesn't solve our problems. It doesn't. The big problem is Sullivan and Brady. Apparently, Kretinsky's not happy. Do something, mate. Do something. He's the second highest shareholder, Kretinsky. Move your ass and do something if you care. Otherwise, you know, you can go with him as far as I'm concerned. But we have to keep the pressure on. So like I said, I'm going to be at the protest on Saturday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go live on the watch along. Jace will be here. I'm going to join from the protest. So everyone, you can tune into the watch along and see the scenes of the protest. Hopefully, if the internet allows it. And then I'm going to film some stuff as well. I'm going to cover that protest as well. Am I on Talksport before the protest? I don't know, mate. They usually ring me the day or message me. They'll message me and say, "Can you come on later?" And I'll go, "Yeah, sure." So I don't know, mate. Hopefully they do. Like, it's a good time to go on and talk about that. So that'd be a good time. Randy says, "Thing is, Dan, I don't understand why can't the board just find the next era." This is what I'm saying, mate. This is exactly what I'm saying. But you need a structure. You need people with a clue, right? With a couple brain cells who know what they're doing, who understand football, to go and find these managers. And I look at us, and look at Man United, and I just think we are just clowns, really. I just think we're both clowns, like, similar. Oh, look, they've built up a name. Like, you don't look at all the details. They didn't look at Amorim and go, he's very system reliant. Is that going to work at Man United? Have we got the players for his system? Is it going to work? No. Then who's your favorite Talksport presenter? I like Simon Jordan, even though I don't agree with him all the time and says things about our club I don't like. I think he's very interesting to listen to. I'd like to go on with him one day, actually, and be on his show. But yeah, well, I like Simon Jordan. I think he's really, like, if anyone I'll listen to Simon Jordan stuff. I think Jason Cundy, he gets a lot of stick, but he's a good bloke, really. I think he's a nice guy. Biggest thing that fucked me off is I sit next to the dugout every game. He's set piece coach, which is the Spanish guy. Narcia Palak is his name. Biggest clown, runs out the dugout every time. Is he the set piece coach? I didn't think we even had a set piece coach. When did we have a set piece? He's the set piece coach. He wants to fucking take a look at himself, mate. 6 goals from set pieces we've conceded in 4 games. 6. We have a set piece coach. That geezer needs to be sacked and banned from. We are so bad on set pieces, and then we can see he runs out the dugout unless they're just not listening to him. Like, honestly, it's crazy. It's No, because it's the board's minions will see this poll and tell us that's who we want it. If they go and say, well, look, 146 people voted in a poll and Jose won on West Ham Fan TV, that's why we did it. Well, they're just going to make themselves look like bigger idiots than ever. Yeah, I cannot believe that we have a set piece. What a revelation. What a revelation. Like, that's blown my mind. We West Ham have a set piece coach, and we are the worst set piece team ever. In my opinion, we are pathetic. I don't think it's all. I mean, look, I'm gonna roast them in a minute, but I think some of our players just seem to be shit at like Kilman, shit in the air, Hermanson, shit in the air. Like, a lot of these players, shit in the air. Wan-Bissaka, obviously he hasn't played, so I can't roast him. But I'm sorry, when I look at that first goal against Spurs, and we're doing this zonal marking bullshit, and Sarr is just unmarked to the back post, the coach has to fucking take that. So let's see, right? He sent me it. Narcis Palic, I've probably bruited that, Palac, on his unorthodox coaching journey, achieving his dreams and working with his role model. Graham Potter is his role model. So where does it say he's a set piece coach, though? I want to see it in black and white. Let's see. Oh, he sent me a picture. Here we go. Can you explain your day-to-day role at West Ham? My main role is set pieces now. I'm looking after the set plays to make sure that the team is organized offensively and defensively in corners, wide free kicks, throw-ins, and all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. Wow. Shout out, James. Do you know what the funny thing is, right? You know, earlier we was talking about we should have kept Kevin Nolan at the club. Even when we changed around, should have kept Kevin Nolan. Do you know who the set piece coach was? Who was in charge of set pieces when we had David Moyes, when we was one of the best set piece teams in the league? It was Kevin Nolan. It was Kevin Nolan. And since then, we've been just shocking on set pieces. To be fair, like we did dip under Moyes and set pieces, but this is the worst I've ever seen us on set pieces. It's the absolute worst. We need like one of these guys Arsenal have. I'm telling you, mate, we play Arsenal in a few weeks with this set piece coach, with this manager, with Hermanson in goal. It's going to be fucking double figures we'll concede. All kinds of stuff. That is a red flag. That is a red flag. Oh, mate. Yeah. The bloke couldn't set his dinner table. Spot on, Mark. Spot on. It's embarrassing, man. Rory Jennings is the best on TalkSport. He's the only one that knows and sticks up for West Ham the way. Yeah, listen, obviously I know Rory, and he's a really good bloke. I actually spent a lot of time with him getting the train back from the overlap to him and had a lot of chat with him. And yeah, he has a lot of respect for West Ham. He told me some stories about going to Upton Park. You know, he backed me on the overlap when we was talking about West Ham. And yeah, listen, yeah, a lot of respect for that guy. He gets a lot of stick, but what matters to me, people say, oh, you got crazy takes. You a nice bloke. You're a decent bloke, right? You humble person in real life. He's a solid guy. I like Rory Jennings a lot. It's not popular to say, but I like that guy. Breaking news on this. If he's coaching Stevie Wonder, he'd do a better job, mate. He'd do a better job. It's God, we're embarrassing, man. Like I said, our third worst defeat to Spurs at home in our history. I remember when we had Alan Irvine with Moyes, he was a good coach. And do you know what? This is the thing, right? And I'm not discounting Moyes. Moyes takes, most of the credit, of course. But when he had Alan Irvine, we were so good. Alan Irvine leaves West Ham, we dip. Moyes goes back to Everton. Alan Irvine joins him again. Oh, look at Moyes. Crazy. Dan, I've been told you've been digging at me. Please remember, you have to look at the positives. We'll be back next week. Lads gave everything. We'll continue to give everything. And just please remember the positives. Cry. Ran today. Yep. James gave everything. My vice captain. It's just why is there nothing about Alan? This is it. Yeah. Alan Irvine. Do you remember that time when there was a couple of games where Alan Irvine was managing and we looked brilliant? Everyone was like, oh my God, just keep Alan Irvine. Like, do you remember that? Alan Irvine done us dirty, mate. How are you going to leave us and then go to fucking Everton, like, after being in the wilderness, mate? He does not get the credit he deserves for his time. I'm really working on this impression. Moisey, I could never do Moisey. I could never. He was so hard to do. I'll get JWP on you. Yeah, no physical presence. Well, Souček tried to be a physical presence, but he's too slow. Look how that worked out. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like this is West Ham. It's the West Ham way these days. The new West Ham way is to just be shit. But yeah, like yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's true. It's the Premier League. No easy games for sure. It's they're Grimsby, a really good team. And we have to take the positives. We didn't concede more than 5 goals this week. This is what like Chelsea fans warned us about, man. This is what my mate Don, Matisse, A lot of these shows, they warned me about this, Charlie. They all warned me about it. Is that you just wait to the post-match interviews when it's not going well. He's not the guy to dig you out of the shit. He's not that guy. That's the problem. But do you know what? Like, we're doing on Saturday, right? Obviously we got the Match Bingo sponsorship, right? You get the bingo card of things that happen. I'm going to speak to Match Bingo and say, can we have a Graham Potter post-match interview bingo card? And we could say, like, the boys gave everything. Remember the positives. It's my responsibility as a manager. We go again next week. We we got to look at ourselves. Got to take a look at ourselves. We'll try and do a bingo of the Graham Potter fucking sayings. I might just do that, not even with match. I'm gonna just get a little bingo card. I'm gonna create one and do it for his post-match interview now. Potter bingo. That's what I'm gonna call it. No, yeah, his preview with D will be interesting. He's on holiday, thankfully. I don't know if I'm gonna hear from him. We're all hurting, yeah. We're all hurting, of course. We're all hurting. It's so like there's so many that you even sometimes I'm forgetting because you know what? I just don't bother watching a load of them because they just piss me off. It just pisses me off, and I know like if you're losing, it's everyone keep laughing and joking at me. I'll prove you wrong. That's what I've done my whole career. Next game, I won't play Suchek. You happy? Happy? You won't play Suchek? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I won't play Suchek. Oh God, this is it. You know what I mean? This is why I love coming together with everyone because we can just fucking have a laugh. Do you know what I mean? This is what you need as a West. We can be angry, we can be shouty, and we can have a laugh. Exactly, Kaz. We can just take the piss. Same old West Ham taking the piss. That's what we do. Right, and it's just laughter's the best medicine. And I came up here, I was like this. I was just fed up. I was like, why am I even going to talk? Over an hour and 22 minutes later, I'm here laughing and we're taking the piss. So listen, I'll be back with Nikki tomorrow. We should be doing a video. Hopefully, we might get the calling show. We didn't do the calling show today because we had no one to produce it. Because usually I'm producing it, and Nikki does a lot of the obviously the main interviews, and I'll jump on or whatever. So we'll try and sort something out tomorrow. Get all the content going. But yeah, appreciate you all, man. You've all cheered me up. You've all cheered me up, and I'm gonna look into that right for the watch along. Graham Potter bingo, mate. I'm gonna make a little card and we're gonna try and get all the bingo cards. It only kind of works if we lose, really, but we'll do it. So listen, if you hit the like button on your way out, I'll appreciate that. Even you, Graham, I know we've flagged you off, mate, but hit the like button. And yeah, who do I think then? Let me just say Nuno. I'm just going to say Nuno out of them four. Out of four, my vote would have been Nuno, but Jose won the poll. Yeah, but like impromptu one, like I said, if you want to check out OK jerseys and check out have a look at some of their football shirts, good prices. West Ham, England, Newcastle, most top teams, internationals and otherwise. So good show, everyone. You've helped make it what it is. Good laugh, and we'll take the positives, and we'll go again on the next show. One thing left to say. Come on, you irons.